I'm going to show you some parts I've prefabricated. So that's for the aft swell deck there. I prefabricated a lot of lifeboats because Britannic was supposed to have 48 lifeboats. Titanic had 16. The only difference is I used a white part in the middle because I don't like that you can see the black part on them. Gantry davits are super important, so I prefabricated those also. Here's one. Actually, in this portion of the ship, the only parts that are different are the structure here that surrounds the cargo hatches. The cargo hatches are higher and they're moved forward. So I think the front one, I think the forward one is enlarged. It's not actually moved. So this is enlarged. There's a structure surrounding them for the third class stairs, I think. And then this cargo hatch is kind of like a small and narrow one. And then there's like a grey top structure here on each side. Now, actually the colours are a little bit open to interpretation because the ship was never actually built like this. But yeah, if we look at the different sources online, and there's 4 main sources I can find really. There's the original plans from Harland and Wolff, but they don't have any colours. There's the Britannic builder's model, which is a very good, interesting thing to look at and very useful for this build, but it doesn't show much colour because the colour is black and white. So yeah, what we're left with really when it comes to colours is our own interpretation, and also we can look at what other people have interpreted, right? So Ocean Liner Designs interpreted this area as all white, whereas Titanic Honour and Glory seem to have interpreted it as a kind of grey top structure with grey winches here. And I actually prefer the look of Ocean Liner Designs' idea, but I think for the look of this model I want some colour differentiation. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead with the Titanic Honour and Glory method, which is a grey top structure and what's it called here, grey winches. I'm going to try and replicate it like this. So I've got a 4x1 there. I'm going to put some 2x1s on because I'm a little bit short on the 4x1s. I'm going to use these to try and replicate the winches. I'm not sure how well that's going to go, but let's see. What we're going to do is we're going to put a 4x1 here first because these need to be a little bit higher. I'll put that there. Yeah, looks pretty good. I think we'll go with that. So let's put some black. Let's put some grey decking on there, just to finish off that area. Britannic's bridge is a little bit different in 2 main ways. So this is what I've already converted to 1911 Olympic. So we've got to put these bridge wings back out, hanging over the side of the ship again. And also we're going to add something really interesting here. A little compass. This is a spare piece I had lying around from the Titanic build. I got quite a few extra pieces with it. So this little 1x1 button round piece there, and then this little compass, which is supposed to be the clock, I believe, in the grand staircase. Yeah, I'm going to make this so that's on there to represent the compass platform on Britannic, and we've got to put some white barriers, walls around the edges. Bridge back onto the ship. There we go. I've got a feeling this is going to look really good. Wow, look at that. On Britannic there's actually some stairs right there, so I'm going to try and get those in. It's going to be quite difficult. I think I might not be able to do it. Had to re-engineer this part a little bit. I had to take out the, there's originally a 3x1 there, which sat up nice and snugly with the back of the bridge. So I've took that out, I've put in a little 1x1, and then this little construction I made here for the steps. It's not very sturdy, but it should be okay once it's all together. You can see if I put this together, the stairs kind of sit just below the deck, and you can't see through. So I think that's going to work. Okay. Make sure that's in place. Put the bridge in. There we go. Okay, everything's in. That looks pretty good. So with that lovely bridge finished with the little compass on there and the little stairs and this whole cargo area all finished, I'm really happy with that. We're going to move our attention over here to the A and B deck. So I've already taken the B deck windows out. I have them configured for Olympic. We need to change that and make them smaller. So it's going to match the Titanic model quite closely there on the B deck, but the A deck, I don't like it. I don't like the way the Titanic model looks. It's not right because Actually, these windows on A deck and the enclosed part of the promenade should actually be the same as the B deck windows, which they're not on the model, so it makes it look quite different to the real ship. So we're going to fix that issue, and then after that, we're going to reconstruct all of the deck. As you can see, I've already taken off all of the lifeboats and some of the davits, because then we've got probably one of the more complex parts of the build, which is where we're going to rearrange the deck, move these lifeboat davits, and we're going to put in the new davits that I've made. Here's a little sneak peek. Yeah. So let's get to that now. I've rearranged the windows. This is as close as I can get it to look as I can with the models and pictures of Britannic that I can find online. I considered doing the windows like one brick wide like that, just like they are in the original Titanic model, but what I found is that they're just a little bit too small and I can't fit a realistic number in here without it looking not very good. So we're going to stick with this form factor of the windows, and we're going to try and replicate that on the A deck also, to give it a nice uniform look as the real ships had. I want the A deck windows to be exactly like the B deck windows, which is like they are on the actual ship. So what we're going to have to do is take these little 1x1s off here and then put something else on there flat like that. Luckily I've got lots of those pieces.
3 days later.
I've been working on the windows off camera. This is what I have decided to settle on. These windows are a little big. That's the problem. I originally wanted to put the A deck windows sideways like this, the same as the B deck, because if you look at pictures of the ship and the plans and everything, they're actually identical windows on the A deck and the B deck. The spacing is different, but they're identical windows. But I couldn't quite make it work because of the height thing. There's some like window piece, one of the Lego big window pieces behind here that sits here to put a little ledge under, which makes it just a perfect size for these. No, I don't have anything like that I can put up here. If I tried to put the windows in sideways the same as B deck, it's just impossible to make them fit. It's pretty much exactly the same problem I had with the C deck windows on the aft part of the model, which I changed in my previous conversion. I think it's a good compromise. The windows are quite big. I can't get the right amount of windows in, but similarly to the aft part, I think when the ship is completed, it will give the right impression while not being strictly correct. With the scaling of Lego, the size of the pieces, there's only so much we can do, right? If I make the windows two of those little clear pieces tall, it matches the look of the original Titanic model quite well, because that had a space just that big there. I don't like the look. It looks a little bit off to me. The windows are rectangular, not square, so yeah, we're going to go with this. Now it's time to gantry this deck. So I've put these little things here to mark where I'm going to put the gantry davits, because I needed that to help me align the windows and stuff with all these, there's like some blank spaces and stuff like that. The window spacing on both decks is irregular. And actually one particular peculiarity that I encountered is that the builder's model of the ship and the actual completed model, sorry, the completed ship, they don't actually match. The window spacing on A deck is different on the real ship, when it was a hospital ship, than in the builder's model. So I don't know if that's just something that changed during the construction or what. I'm guessing it's something that changed in the construction and wasn't reflected in the builder's model. But yeah, for the parts where we don't have any evidence of what it was like because it was a hospital ship, I'm going to use the builder's model for my inspiration. I don't know why it took me so long, but I finally got one of these brick pullers. Yeah, up until now I've just been using whatever I can find to pull pieces apart or whatever. Now we're going to do the windows for the starboard side, because I've already done the port side when I was experimenting. I want to be able to sit one of the lifeboats here, because on all of the pictures and whatever, all of my reference material, there's one normal lifeboat here underneath the gantry davits with normal welling davits. Here's my first idea. Not sure if this is going to work or not. There's only one way to find out. Take up that on the floor. There we go. Oh, I think that's quite good actually. Oh, that turned out even better than I thought. Yeah, I think that's about right. I need to put those there like that. Get another one of those things. Yeah, I'll just about do it. Top of the davit's a little bit higher than I would like, but it's not the end of the world. I would like it to be lower. Let's try a lower configuration, see how that works. I put them lower on the little plate thing, and it doesn't sit quite right, but I think it'll work, because nothing else is going to go on there. It doesn't need to be perfectly aligned or anything. So that puts the davit a little bit lower on the ship, a little bit lower against the funnel, which is what we want. They should actually, when they're fully extended, they should be about the same height as the part where the funnel changes color, and you see that's a little bit higher. I can live with it. I think that's probably our best bet now. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's rebuild some deck. I'll take these off. Oh my god. I just pushed that thing in there, it's almost falling inside the ship. Oh my goodness. See if we can avert disaster here. Oh, so lucky. Just stuck.
What is the charge? Eating a meal?
Beams. Wow. That was lucky. Usually, when I'm recording these videos, I'm not that lucky. Okay, I'm back on there. Actually, let's just keep it off for now while we fix this problem. I just dropped one of these little round pieces inside the ship. It's just literally, every time I do something with this ship, something falls off inside. It's just gotta happen. It's like some kind of new rule of nature that whenever I try to do something with this ship, a part will fall inside. I'm trying to make some space for the new lifeboats there. Moving these things so that the funnels have got somewhere to be tied to. I'm going to tie one there. On the ship's plans, you can see that's kind of where they are. And then this part will attach over here to somewhere on the midsection of the ship, and maybe somewhere over here. But it can't be on the bow section because of the free space we need here for the gantry davit. I'm a little bit unclear about the lifeboat layout here. It appears to me on the builder's model that we've got like one here like this, and then another there, and then I'll say there's another there. It's kind of not right because they should all be at the same level. I need some space in between, or to raise those up a little bit. Maybe I can put a white piece on top of this just to set it up higher. Let's see if we set up the lifeboat a bit higher, see how that looks. That's more like what we see on the ship, on the pictures. Put a gantry davit on and see. There's actually a motor launch here as well, which I'm going to do in a minute. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's about right. And then we've got the normal lifeboat goes here. And then there's two normal davits there. Okay, I'm reworking this area a little bit because I just realised I need those davits in there. So we're going to put these in here like this. Some of the original decking pieces from Titanic. All on there. Like that. And then we're going to put a 4x1 white piece here, just to raise that up a little bit. And then we're going to put this thing here, like this. That's from somewhere on the Titanic build that I've disassembled somewhere before. Two little, like that. And then the lifeboat's going to sit on there. And then we're going to put these, because it appears that that lifeboat is always swung out. I mean, maybe it was a wartime thing when you look at pictures of Britannic as a hospital ship, but on the builder's model, it's also swung out already. So this emergency cutter appears to always be swung out there on the davits. So I'm going to put that there, and yeah, I think we're done. We're going to put the motor launch in there. On the builder's model, the motor launch is kind of hanging from the davits, but I think it's just for demonstration purposes. Yeah, I just checked, and it appears that this lifeboat here is actually the motor launch. So let me show you what we're going to do for the motor launch. Here's the midsection of the ship. It's actually not much different than it is now. We're going to take off all these davits because we don't need them. We'll take off these lifeboats. We'll need those later on the stern. The rest of it is just going to be a matter of putting these windows right. So we're going to have the A-deck promenade come up to here with the closed windows. And then these windows are going to be roughly the same until just before that, underneath the second funnel. They're going to switch to a different pattern where there's quite a lot of white space, and then there's a few like short windows together. I'm going to smooth out the deck. And also, after we've done the windows, we need to extend this little wall here. Should be around pretty much all of the ship. Okay, this is where we're going to change the windows, because on the pictures I've got the builder's model, the reference images, etc. It appears that the normal windows are all here. There's a space here just at the start of the second funnel. There's two doors here just underneath this structure on top of the superstructure. And then here, the windows start to go small. I'm going to change the spacing from here on out. The window arrangement goes a little bit strange here around this area, underneath the second funnel, the back of the second funnel. But then after that, there's kind of like a regular pattern of two windows close together with a little bit of a wider gap in between. So I can kind of make them into like sets of 4 that all connect together for the rest of that part of the for that part of B deck. When I need some extra like stability, I'm going to use one of these pieces just to anchor it into the side of the ship more. I just finished breaking down all of those windows from the B deck on both sides of the ship and the stern section as well. So now I've just got the raw components I need for this. This is the finalized repeating pattern that I've settled on. So there seems to be a pattern of like 2 windows separated by 1 small white piece, and then there's a longer white piece in the middle, and then it just repeats again. And in between those, in between each of one of those assemblies, there's going to be a slightly longer piece. So here I've got one of these little blocks that's got the hole on the side, so it'll help me mount it onto the ship. And then I put a little 1x1 on each end just to extend it a little bit. So if we stick all these together and we create a chain, that creates a repeating pattern that matches quite closely what we see on the side of the ship. I've just discovered a small problem that my pattern doesn't line up with those sideways Lego pieces in there, so I'm going to take one off to make those these parts here that I put 1x1 block on each end of. I'm going to shorten those. I think that'll make it so everything fits together. Let's try it here with this one. No, I need to take this one off first. Yeah, I think that should do it. I'll just put that back. That should fit in there. These sideways pieces are a little bit of a nightmare. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to have it as even as I want, I think, because... Oh, no, it wants to be. Okay. So let's try taking out both of those 1x1s and see if that works. Yeah, I think we're going to have to be flexible with the pattern. It's not like that on the real ship, but, you know. Yeah, we're going to have to be a little bit flexible with it. It can't be as even as I want it to be. Or maybe we'll just try putting one of these bricks in without the 1x1s on the side at all, see if that works. Yeah, it's just totally not fun at all. Okay, yeah, that fits. Okay, I think we're gonna have to do it like that. I have to shorten that gap in between the windows. It can't be like I wanted it to be. I mean, I could have tested it first, which would have saved me all this trouble, but I didn't do that. So now I'm paying the price. You can't really see it much. Those 2 pieces are not quite mated together perfectly, but it's gonna take a really sharp eye to notice that. I don't think anyone's gonna see it. I'm gonna put 1x1 in now. I should fit. Yeah, I wanted it to be perfectly even, but it appears like I can't do it like that. It's gonna have to be a little bit off, but no one's gonna notice. Okay, this should be the last set of windows now, I think, and then we'll turn the ship around and do the other side. Look at that, perfect. Okay, let's take a little 1x1 off there, and we'll fix that later when we go on to the stern section. Just finish with those windows on both sides. Kind of not fun at all. It's really hard to make them fit. I've managed to get it in there. There's 2 small gaps there, but they're kind of hard to see. I'm just gonna leave it like that because they are nice and snug now. Time to do the A deck promenade. So this needs to be one of these things here, which we took off the Titanic model before, because of course Titanic has a half-closed promenade deck. They're the same as Britannic. So yeah, if you look at the pictures and the plans and stuff, we can see that this part here where the enclosed promenade ends and the open promenade starts, and it ends with this little slope piece, curved slope, it's pretty much directly underneath the compass platform. Okay, prefabricated my windows to be about 12, and we've got these little 1x1s with a hole in. I'm just going to put them the opposite way on, so you can't see the hole. So looking at the pictures of the windows on the stern section of the ship, there's 2 things we've got to do here. Extend this again, like I said earlier. The window pattern is different than on the midsection over there. There's actually clusters of 3 windows. There's 3 clusters of 3, 2 clusters of 2 that's closer together. So the pattern's a little bit different there, so I'm going to work on that. There's another thing here on the promenade deck. It's almost right, but there's where we put the davits, there's going to have to be something under here to show that there's extra support, because there's some parts that come out underneath to support the upper deck more, where the davits are, because those davits are big, heavy things, and the lifeboats are heavy as well. So they reinforced the deck underneath there, the boat deck, which led to the A-deck promenade looking a little bit different than Titanic and Olympic. So let's just replace this and work out where we're going to extend this deck to make it accurate again. Looking at the picture, I would say it's roughly, it should be at the beginning of these windows there, so it's not perfectly to scale because of the way I had to do these windows is not accurate, etc. So I think to get it as close as possible, it's roughly around the area where these 2 are, so yeah, I'm going to put it right there. Here are the assemblies for the B-deck windows. This is the pattern I've settled for, these 3 clusters of 3 and then this odd cluster of double windows. There actually should be two. There should actually be two of those, and then this set of three clusters of three. But because of the scale and the size of the pieces, I can't do it. So I sacrificed one of these clusters of three sets of double windows here. I wanted to keep this part as accurate as possible because these look more noticeable when you look at the real ship on the plans and the pictures. This part stands out more than this part. So I'm going to move our attention to the boat deck now. Three main things we've got to achieve here. We need to remove this aft part of A deck here. It doesn't exist on Britannic. This here is the skylight for the aft grand staircase. There appears to be another structure here, which houses lifeboats, and then this is still there in the middle, but it's higher. So I need to lift this up higher, and then we're going to put the lifeboats over there. Over here, I think this is going to stay largely the same, but we're going to have to remove these railings, and yeah, I think that's it. The lifeboats need to go here and here. So as long as there's enough space to stack lifeboats here, we're good. I'm going to just get one to sample it. It looks like we should have two here. Yeah, I think we can do that fine. We need to change this part here on the real ship. This is a little bit different. So we're going to change this part here so that we can have lifeboats on there. Let's move these cranes for now. I have totally reworked this area to make it look more like what I can see on the pictures and videos I can find. What we've got to do now is make this so that it can accommodate the lifeboats that I need to go on top. I think that's the next priority. Like this, as so. And I've like one there, and then we can have one. Okay, I think I can see my problem now. There's not enough space simply because my boat deck isn't long enough, it looks like. So what I'm going to do is extend this to here. Just buy an extra two. Now, extend that to there. And then that matches the plan view I can find of the ship here. This part's actually a little bit narrower. Then we've got more space to work with here on the boat deck because it's kind of crowded and it's not really working. I'm trying so hard to plan it and my brain is just, it can't do it because there's not enough space. So what do we need to do? We need to create more space, right? So I'm going to extend this. Okay, those vents are ridiculous. So I'm going to fix that by just making my own vents. They're going to be much smaller and more appropriate to the scale. Yeah, okay, it doesn't have a vent on it, I accept, but there's only so much we can do with the pieces I've got. That is much more realistic to the scale that we can see on the ship. So I'm going to call that area done. Don't need to worry about that anymore because we need one lifeboat there, stack two there. Oh, that's the perfect height. I'm going to have to check one there, I think. So a total of 4 for each davit. I need to check the side profile of the ship because I'm currently looking at a top-down view and I can't really tell how many lifeboats there are. Okay, looking at the builder's model, it should be 2. So I think there's going to be actually a total of 5 for each davit here. I mean, 2 stacks of 2, like this. 2 stacks of 2, as so. And the davits here. And then there's a little bit of room free on the deck here. Yeah, we're going to go with that. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to try this delivery method for this 2x1. This is either ridiculous or genius. Wow, it works. Look at that. One there. And these are going to go here. Reuse decking pieces from the Titanic build. Those are going to go there. And then the last set of lifeboats, the last 4 are going to go here. There we go. Okay, we got those in place. Let's fix the other side to match. Okay, we're going to, now that we've finished with those lifeboats, we're going to focus on getting this decking finished. We're going to put some railings along here. And we need to put a wall on here. I've already done the other side off camera. I'm just going to catch up with this side now and show you how I'm doing it. We're just going to take these old tops off here, off the top of the promenade. And we're just going to replace them with these 4x1 walls. I think I should have got some longer walls, would have made the sides of the ship look better. Maybe I'll improve that in the future. Or if I do any other conversion project or anything, I'll try and get longer pieces for it. but these will do for now. There we go. Put a last little 2x1 on there. That's it. I've got a 2x1 to finish the other side. That's it. That's done. Now we can just focus on the decks. Let's see what we've got here. We've got a lot of these railings and stuff that we took off the Titanic model. So I'm just going to reuse these where possible. Let's put... Oh, a little bit of a problem there. Ah, I know. We're going to rework this area here later, and we don't need these railings, but we do need them up here. So I'm going to move these. Let's get this set of lifeboats and davits mounted. Oh, do you know what? I just realised I forgot about those motor rooms. Oh, there's always something. Okay, let's get the davits on regardless, and then we'll think about the motor rooms later. One davit there. One davit here. I have a motor room like here, I think. Is that right? We'll check later. Let's get davits on. Let's spin her around. I just took the mast off to give me some more space here. Right there. That davit here. Good, okay. Lifeboats. We've got one single lifeboat there at the back, and then we've got a stack of 3. Oh, put that in the wrong place. There we go. And we've got a stack of 2 at the front. That's it. I think that rear set of davits is done. The motor room should be like here, right next to the davit. Now I will admit that my my method of creating the davits here is a little imperfect. They're a little bit too big, and there should be space here to walk past. But you know, I'm doing the best I can with the parts that I've got. So I'm going to just go ahead and put the motor room in there. At least I've got the motor room in for accuracy. There we go. That's our davit motor room's done. Okay, this part of the ship finished. I'm happy with it. So like I stated earlier, this part we need to raise this up. We'll raise this up here and just make this structure bigger. Okay, I just restructured all those parts there. Now we're going to put lifeboats on. So we need 2 of these things. They go on there as so. We'll put a stack of 2 here, and the stack of 3 are going to go here. That's it. There. Finished. Let's get the ones on the other side. Stack of 3 goes there. Stack of 2 needs 2 of these things. There we go. All of our lifeboats are on. Beautiful. Okay, let's just finish off these decking parts around here then. Once we've finished up with the decking. This area is done after we put the davits on. I've made another oversight. The motor rooms should be there underneath the lifeboats for that set of davits. Oh dear. Another oversight. Okay, we're going to do this again. Oh no. I am really good at messing up. Really, really good. Done. And also, yeah, I was wrong, there should be 2 lifeboats there. We're just about done with the upper deck here, the boat deck. I'm happy with that. We've got 2 motor rooms, we've got a davits, we've got lifeboats. If we just bring her about here and look at the back, restructured all this, it looks more accurate to the real ship. This is all done. One little problem is that there, but I don't have any pieces to help me fix it right now, so we'll leave that for now. Maybe I'll revisit it in the future and fix that. Next, we're going to do this part here. I'm going to extend this, take these cranes off while we do the poop deck. There's an extension of C deck here that goes over the well deck to the poop deck. So we don't need any of this, these ladders anymore and stuff. Time to do something with this well deck, because I know this is going to have to come off. We're going to extend this and make this wider. So I'm just going to take everything off. These are going to move a little bit. This should be flush here. There's no gap between the end of this structure and the cargo hatch here on Britannic. Need to take these stairs off, and we're going to use them in different places on the ship. First thing I want to achieve is I want to get this in here. First thing is it looks terrible. The second thing is it's higher. It's higher. It's too high, and it's higher than this deck here. It's too high. What else is wrong? Everything's wrong with that. Let's get all this stuff off that we need to rebuild. There's like a structure here on Britannic. I can't remember exactly what it is. There's some kind of basic structure here, I think. Or am I thinking of the front well deck, the forward well deck? Either way, this area is all enclosed, so we're going to get rid of these stairs. And these things are not necessarily going to move, but they're going to be different. They're going to be like a big, taller grey thing, and then the real hatch will be on top of the new poop deck. Sorry, the new well deck. No, it's not the new well deck. It's just the cover for the well deck, which is an extension of C deck. Let's see if we can get all this stuff off. I think for this part, I need all this to be like one little step lower. So I'm going to take off these bricks and get rid of that little sand-coloured part at the bottom there. Same thing in here. Just going to get rid of those yellow parts. I know that the actual ship probably would have yellow parts there, but the thing is, it's not going to be visible. And I need this area to be a little bit lower so that I can accommodate my new deck. Also, while we're here, we're going to steal. We're going to steal these triangle pieces here because I actually need them for the boat deck that's going to go on top of the poop deck. I couldn't get any sand-colored ones. I could only get grey. So I'm going to put these grey ones in there where they're not going to be very visible, and then I'm going to use the sand ones on top of the deck where they will be visible. I just rebuilt this prefabricated deck piece that I made. So it's a little bit narrower now, and there's a space here so I can make some kind of assembly of the top of the deck and some taps and stuff to go on the side and maintain this yellow stripe. And also now we need to put in there's some like basic structure under here. We're going to put these here for the cargo hatch. And then for this area here, we just need a little bit of structure. There's like some basic structures under there. I think it's some kind of stairwell or something. I can't remember. But yeah, we're just going to add these in where the cargo hatches are to maintain the structure and also just serve as a stand-in for the cargo hatch, which would be there. So let's get this deck on now. That doesn't really want to go on. Okay, it's kind of on. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, it's on now. That's it. Oh, it's all a little bit warped. Doesn't really want to sit on there, but I think with a little bit of persuasion, yes, that's kind of it. That's good enough. Okay, that's good enough. About the decking, I want it to all kind of merge together, so I'm going to take off. I'm going to take off two of these little 3x1s here. What am I going to do about this? Yeah, that looks good because now we can kind of mate it to the other part. It's going to go on there. Okay, let's get all that pressed on. It's a little bit reluctant to fit. Let's go there like that. So I can only fit 2 in. There we go, that'll do. Okay, now we can focus on rebuilding this structure and then getting the cargo hatches on there. So this would go here, but actually I want that to be a little bit longer, which is what we can see on the real ship is this part's a little bit longer there. And also this is like a little bit wider. Yeah, the stairs are here and then the cranes are here. Stairs, cranes. I need this to be a little bit wider and this to be longer. So let's just take, oops, I broke it. So actually that part can stay. I'm not going to change anything on that, but this needs to be a little bit wider. I think just 1 brick on each side would do it. Yeah, I just made these little assemblies for the stairs. So got a little bracket there and then 2 little 2x1s. Help it sit in the right place. Those there like that. Yeah, there we go. Let's get this railing off. And that decking piece is going to be changed. That's it. I'm going to move that railing. So I'm just going to fill in that gap there with 1x1s. So I've got lots and lots and lots of those. Same on the other side. That's it. Just move that out there and then fill in the gap. I think I want that to be there. So we're going to put some of these in here. Where's that going to sit exactly? I want to sit there, so we're going to put 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think that should be adequate. We just put a normal 1x1, a 2x1 in there. So let's fill in this gap. 1x1 there. Need another 1x1 here. Could have used a longer piece, but I don't want to. Just trying to use up all my 1x1s. Okay, I'll put a 2x1 there on that side. There we go. Okay, now we're going to stick some bricks in there. I've got a bag of 2x1 bricks somewhere, but I can't find it. There it is. 2 2x1 bricks in there. There, so we've successfully extended that area now. It looks longer and narrower like it does on the real ship. The 4 cranes are moved up to this deck here on Britannic. Okay, I think we'll use these to mount the cranes because I've got a lot of them, and that way we can offset it a little bit away from the. We can offset them away from the stairs. We're going to put them there. Okay, let's do the same on the other side then. Then we need to mount some here, parallel. There we go. Put those there like that. Same on the other side. There we go. Cranes sorted. 3x3. We'll just stick a 3x3 in there. Okay. Let's fill in some of the other decking areas now. Did some work on the deck and these railings here off camera. So that's all kind of finished now. And the problem now is this. We're going to put these here. Now this isn't exactly what I wanted. I wanted to use the taps, just like over here, but it seems not possible because of the height. And I don't want the yellow thing to be visible. The yellow stripe, I need it to be covered. So this is the best solution I can come up with. And also, one unexpected side effect of this, because I'm going to move this to here, it means we can actually fit in another one of those windows there for increased accuracy. The count's still wrong, but at least there's more, and it's closer to the actual amount now. So we're going to put this here, and this here. That's it. Here we go. We'll put some flat pieces on there just to raise it up to the right level. That there. 2x1 on there. Yeah, now we can raise this whole thing up a little bit. So this kind of gets the job done, and it looks pretty good. The problem is, it doesn't really look like the real ship much, because these should be like thinner struts, giving this like an open kind of promenade feel, just like over here on the other parts of the ship, but I can't do it like that. This is a good enough stand-in, I think. It's the best we can do. I accept it. Let's get this deck finished here. I need to repair something I did here last night off camera. Once we've done that, we can start focusing on the poop deck, which is pretty much the last part of the build. Time to put these cargo hatches back on. So one there, it's sitting really, it's basically right next to this structure here, which is accurate to what I can see on Titanic Honour and Glory's model. And the aft one, just as far back as it will go on that new well deck structure we put on the extension of sea deck. Okay, time to put the decking in here just to fill in the gaps. We've got a lot of decking pieces lying over from what we've taken off the other parts of the ship, so no need to worry about scarcity here. It actually looks more like Aquitania, if I'm honest. It doesn't look quite right. Oh. And there's nothing to hold it on at the bottom or the top, so it just kind of flails around wildly. But I don't touch this model much. Yeah, see, it's really loose. Maybe we'll come up with a solution for that in the future. That's it. Okay, that's done. Gotta put those cranes back on there, but we'll wait until we finish this area here. I just need to reinforce this also, which I'm going to do off camera. Just finished fixing that area. It's nice and sturdy now, and the mast is stiff enough. Okay, so that area's all done. The boat deck's all done. Finally, we are just in the situation where the only part of the ship we've got to worry about now is this. This part's actually the same. Don't need to do anything about that. We're going to have a structure here, which is like third-class smoking room, I think. There's going to be a structure here. The docking bridge is going to be raised up by one full level. And then there's going to be a hell of a lot of lifeboats on there. I mean, like 12, I think, maybe 14. Depends how you interpret it. So, yeah, the structure's going to start about here. So we're going to get rid of these cowl vents. We don't need them anymore. They're not there. Maybe I'll try and leave those because they don't affect the structure much. I'm going to build around it. I'm not going to remove anything. I'm just going to build arond it. And then when we've got a nice level thing here, we can think about putting our gantry davits on and our lifeboats. Let's get rid of this thing. Oh, that's wrong. That piece of stuck on there. Actually, no, I'm going to take this off. Take these phones out because we totally don't need them anymore. This part we're going to build over it, and I want it to be a little bit more rigid. So I'm going to get rid of this. Get rid of this decking piece off there, and I just put in whatever I've got to add some structure to it. And we can put that back. Now we have something nice to put our structure onto. Use these 4x1s here. Yeah, there we go. That gives us some nice, bulky, strong structure there. We'll move these windows over by, oops, dropped it. Move these windows over by one. Or maybe I could use 1x1 windows to get more in, because there's quite a lot there. I want to add something rigid across there. Yeah, that's kind of like the back of the structure. It's not a big structure at all. The docking bridge, I can't move it any further back, so I have to stay there because of this Technic thing. So let's do the same on the other side. I think this thing's quite strong already, so I'm just going to put a 3x1 there. Will that fit? That'll fit there because of those benches. No, maybe I have to pull those benches out somehow. Let's see if we can just pop them out. Let's remove the docking bridge and we'll put it back later. Okay. Oh, they're going to come out like a big... No, not bad. I forgot how these went together. And a clip in there. Okay, that's not bad. Let's get rid of those phones while we're there. Don't need them. Make it complicated. Let's see if we can build up this structure a little bit on the inside with the loose pieces that I've got lying around. So I planned to like make an assembly like this to put on there, which is kind of the right shape. But the problem is I lose the Technic pieces on the bridge if I do that, on the docking bridge, and I want that to be kind of intact. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and make a smaller. We're going to try and make a smaller structure there, and I've got a few little special pieces I've ordered that should be able to help me get some kind of structure on here. I've hit a bump in the road. I've been fabricating this deck for the lifeboats here, and in order for it to be wide enough for the davits to actually work properly, it's much too big. But I've noticed, looking at the different plans of the ship, actually the docking bridge on Britannic seems to be further back right above the rudder. So I think we're going to accept that we don't have this little thing for tension in the rigging anymore and just move the docking bridge back to give us more breathing room for the lifeboats. Seems to me that we could put the docking bridge here and it would actually be more accurate to the real Britannic plans. So let's just get rid of that thing and accept that we don't have it anymore. I'll find a different way to tension the mast. So the docking bridge is probably going to be over here now. Probably around, yeah, probably here. Which looks a little bit ridiculous, but it's actually like that on the ship. So this assembly with the lifeboats is going to go right here. But I want it to be a little bit taller. I'm going to make the deck like sand colored, make it full of decking to make it more visually appealing. Okay, I'm kind of winging this, but let's just see what happens. Because I've just got a limited amount of pieces that I can work with. And we're just going to throw something together and see if it fits on the ship. And if so, oh, that's not right there. And if so, does it look right? Is it too big? Is it too small? Whatever. It's a little bit bulky. The thickness is a little bit off, but I need it to be strong. There we go. Let's get rid of that one. So lifeboats, it kind of won't work. It won't work because it's not wide enough. Okay, this is what I've settled on. So we've got these things here for the davits. The space in between is just enough for the lifeboats to fit perfectly there. This part's going to stay like that because the docking bridge is going to incorporate here, and then we'll fix any kind of parts that need smoothing out later. The only thing left to do now with this is try and get it on the ship. So we're going to put a roof on this, because we want to raise everything up a little bit. It's kind of a little bit low at the moment. Now let's just sit that on there and see how it looks. Not bad. It's still a little bit low, but I think that's acceptable. Yeah, I think that's acceptable. We can even incorporate some faucets under here maybe to support it, which will make it look a bit more realistic. The docking bridge is going to go here, which I'm going to raise up. It needs to be more like up here, so you can visualize it like this. You know what? Maybe I will just put the docking bridge back. Actually, no. It depends on the gantry davits and stuff, how we can fit everything in. So we're going to get these lifeboats on here now. There's a stack of 3 in the middle, as so, and then there's 2 stacks of 2 working their way out until we get to the gantry davit. Now, this is definitely the most lifeboat dense part of the ship. That's it. That looks about right to me. I think that's good. We're settled with that. That's done. So let's just hold the ship from the bottom and push this down into place. Doesn't really want to go in there. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's a little bit clicked into place. No. Then it just flew back out again. Is there something stopping it? No. It's just quality. It's just the quality that I'm working against here. It's really difficult to get on. It's kind of half on there, but it's not clicked down. Yeah, it won't click down. Move that docking bridge while we try and do this. Let's see if we can just make sure it's perfectly lined up. There we go, that's perfectly lined up. It doesn't want to click in. Kind of like a soft falling into place motion. Let's have a look. Is that on? Yeah, I think that's on. Okay, we're done. So we need to get an idea to kind of visualize how this is going to go together now. We need to put the last set of davits on. Let's see. Let's get that on there. Let's fix that one. Put those together. There we go. Let me lift up the camera for you to take a look there. I will admit that my gantry davits are kind of on the large side. They're a little bit comically large. If I was to do this again, I would definitely reduce the scale to maybe, I think this is 10. I think these are like 10 blocks wide. I would make it more like 8. But yeah, this is what I've got for now. Can't really change it. This this docking bridge this platform for the boats kind of really doesn't want to stay on there. I think it's because the cheap Lego pieces are bowing. They're kind of like bowing out, so it's convex at the bottom. See here, it's like a little bit kind of not straight, and that's really affecting its ability to stick to the other bricks. Okay, I've completely changed my mind about that because it's too thick. Even when I could get it on there, it doesn't look quite right. So I'm going to keep this a maximum of 2 layers thick, and I'm going to make it 1 layer white at the bottom and then decking on the top. So I just spent a while putting this together. The shape is right, but I just realized when I put the lifeboats on it, it's like way too big. The lifeboats need to cover pretty much all of that structure, so I'm going to rebuild this and make it like maybe 3 blocks shorter, but actually I'm going to need to have space for my davits. 1, 2. That's why I made it so wide, because I calculated the space for the davits to go there also, and yeah, that makes it really big. Oh, I think we'll have to deal with the fact that it's bigger then, because of the way that I've done the davits. This is starting to take some kind of shape now, quite good. I'm going to put a little 2x1 here, because I'm going to put some structure underneath the docking bridge. Britannic has some kind of strange triangular cabin on each side of the docking bridge underneath it. I'm not sure what it is. I've got these to represent it. The shape is very close, so I'll put that there. And then I've got this little thing there. These are parts of the non-bridge. I've added this. Yeah, it's going to look like that. Looks kind of accurate to what we see on the real ship. Problem is, I ordered a bag of those and forgot that I needed to get the reversed, the mirror image version as well. So I've got one for that side and I don't have any for this side. I just got a bag full of ones that are all the same. So I need to get the other side. So I guess for now we'll leave that part unfinished, and then after I finish the build and I get it through the post, I'll add the extra part on there. I'll order it now. There's something that needs a little bit of attention here. So after coming up with this is the smallest I can make this thing. And when I sit it here, also the shape is right and accurate to the plans. If I put it in the place where I need it to be, then it overlaps here and sits over the cargo hatch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disassemble the deck and move this cargo hatch forward. This assembly needs some rigidity here, and I've kind of run out of longer white pieces, so it's just going to have to be the 2x1s again. This entire build is just held together by 2x1s. Okay, let's see what we can do there. That's it. That's much more rigid now. Much better than before. We've got another problem here. The way that I've constructed it is just frankly awful, but it's going to sit on top of this, and that's going to give it a lot of strength, so it doesn't need to be strong there at all. I will admit that my building skills are, well, they're certainly subpar. Let's do something about this because it's going to be visible from the back. So I'm going to replace that yellow piece with some white. So it appears that on the real Britannic, this part is actually full here. So I'm going to fill that area in, and then this ladder is not there. I'm going to have 2 ladders here, one on each side. And then to get up to here, I can't really see it on any of the plans or anything, so I'm going to just put like 1 ladder here at the side. There's nowhere else it could be really, so I'm going to do 1 on each side or 1 on one side. Just have to use a little bit of creative license for that part. Okay, I've completely reinforced this piece here. I put a lot of pieces underneath around where this will go. I've added some extra structure here at the bottom, which I can see on the plans. There appears to be something solid like that in that exact location. We've got the two sets of stairs there. And I moved this forward because I noticed on the plans it doesn't finish at the end of the deck, it actually hangs over, which is quite strange. The only thing we're missing is the other one of those, which I don't have yet. Right, I'm pretty much finished with the docking bridge now. You can see that it's all come together really nicely. I've put some stairs there, creative license. These telegraphs are kind of in the way, but not much I can do about it. The structure's all complete with the exception of my missing piece, which I'm going to get soon, hopefully. We're going to put all this on the ship. I've added some faucets here. Let's move the ship over there for you to see. I've added some faucets here. If it works well, then I'll do the same on the other side. This, I'm going to cut it probably, and then maintain it around here, and then the part that I cut off, I'll use over here. And we'll make this part have a barrier on it like that. Let's see how this goes. We're just test fitting it again at the moment. I'm going to try like putting it on piece by piece instead of trying to put one big piece on. I'm going to try like this. We can mount part of that first, and then we can kind of fit the rest of it around there, and then just fill in the gaps with the decking and see if that works. Push that down there instead of on the docking bridge. Yeah, that seems to want to go together much better now. Okay, technique and building skills definitely need to improve. That's not bad. It's all kind of on there now. Everything's on and seems to be in place as far as I can tell. Not perfectly, but near enough. Okay. The faucets here definitely help a lot. But they look kind of awful. They look totally hideous, you know. Maybe I'll try putting them inside instead. I'm just going to add this little tap assembly here and see if this works. We've got 4 taps with flat pieces on top. It took a lot of finessing, and by finessing I mean forcing pieces together. No, I'm joking, but this is mostly in place. I say mostly, it's still a little bit jank here. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. It's all strong and everything's in the right place. So yeah, and the lifeboats and the davits will go on there. That's the important thing. So that goes in there, then that goes in there, and that's all done. That's it. Okay, that's done. So 2 things. First, get all of the lifeboats and davits on. Second, see if we can repair and kind of extend that function from the Titanic model, where this thing kind of sits in there and it's all attached to Technic pieces, and you can use it to tension the rigging. So what are we going to do for that? I've got a little collar that should be enough to extend it. If I can attach these 2 together, I should be able to have that go all the way through there. Got a little Technic piece here that's left over from the Titanic build. I got lots of spare pieces with that, which has worked out great for me. What can we do about this to make that go through there? I think we can make our life easier by lifting off this square piece here instead of destroying the bridge again. There's a square decking piece here. I can just, yeah. If I can lift that off and I've got more space to work with, I can just go through there. It doesn't really want to go on, I don't know why. It seems to be at the wrong angle. Okay, it seems that I left it in an odd angle and rotation, and now I can't get it back on. I'm going to use part of the main mast to rotate it. Okay, and that turns again. Look at that. Okay, looks like I fixed that issue. Put that on there. Yeah. Okay, that mechanism's all working again with a little bit of an extension. Okay, time to get the lifeboats on now. So we've got a stack of 3 in the middle on each side. There. And we've got a stack of 2 there. And then a stack of 2 here. That's it. That's the back set of lifeboats on. I guess that rigging cable can just go through there totally fine. It'll be a bit of a nightmare to get it on. I'll probably have to take the bridge off, but yeah, we'll deal with that later. Now that we're done with that, we've got a little bit of an issue here. We've got 2 issues here I need to fix just before it's finished. First thing is, where I put these little plates for us to fit the cranes don't fit anymore. So maybe I'll just move those plates across by 1 there. These ones are fine, of course. There's no problems with these ones, they just fit there, and then the cranes work totally fine. On the ship, I need to have some stairs here. So stairs there, cranes, mast, and this second class entrance that I did. This second class entrance that I kind of rebuilt. I like the shape of it and everything, but I kind of want it to be a little bit taller. It feels like, I think the scaling is much more appropriate now, but it feels a little bit too small. It's kind of not high enough. I just fixed that off camera. I didn't want to waste any more screen time with that. Yeah, I just replaced the decking, just restructured the whole thing. Let's put the cranes back on now. 1 more. There. Just gonna make that a little bit taller. I'm going to make these vents a little bit taller, so I've added a 1x1 underneath them. There we go. There's actually a cowl vent and the vents here. I think this is for something to do with the kitchens. I can't remember. I'm not sure. But, so that's that done. Okay, so we've done the cranes. We've done the second class entrance. Structure on the back's all finished. 1 more little detail I need to pay attention to is there's some like added structure underneath the davits, and to kind of reflect that in my model, I think I'm just going to add a little bit of maybe a 1x1 underneath each davit here. We'll reflect it closely enough. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 under each davit. It's not perfect, like I said, they should be like wider, but I can't do it without interrupting the pattern of the faucets, which I really don't want to do. So with that done, all the lifeboats finished, all the cranes finished, all this deck finished. The only thing left to do now really is put the mast back on and fix the rigging, see if I can attach the rigging to that mechanism there, and then we need to fix the rigging for the funnels as well. Get this mast back on. There she goes. Okay, that's the part that's going to go onto mechanism at the back for the tensioner. These two need to go and sit on the deck somewhere. Put the jack back in the right place. Put these davits back into the correct stowed position. These parts of the rigging, I think I will put them here like this. Yeah, that should work. I don't want them to interfere with the travel of the davit, and I think they won't. Put them in the correct place like that. Yeah, I can just add some tension here with this, and yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, the post just arrived, and I've got these. I'm going to use 3 of these, because the place where I ordered from didn't have the bricks in stock, so yeah, easy. There we go, push that back down. That's it. It's a little bit ugly there, I will admit. Now, for the final little touch I want to make here on the docking bridge is I'm just going to add a 1x1 here, just to fill out the space a little bit. So I'm going to push it on like that, I think. There we go. That looks better. There we go. Right, just clicked into place. You hear that? That sounded good. Okay, so this structure's all done now. I'm happy with that. Let's just have a little look, make sure everything's pressed down and lined up properly. Yeah, it all looks good to me. Let's check the side. There we go. With some little supports under there. It's a bit thicker than I would like, but it serves the purpose perfectly. Okay, now the final part of the construction process, something I just forgot about. I'll take these cranes off. It's the stairs. There should be some stairs here. Now the interesting thing is on Ocean Liner Design's picture, the stairs are kind of here, attached to this part that crops out. When I look at the plans of hospital ship Britannic, not RMS Britannic, the way that it was completed, because it was kind of requisitioned as a hospital ship like during construction, so some things were a little bit odd. For example, these davits at the back were normal davits, not gantries. It wasn't finished. It was kind of rushed into service. Now what I can see on the plans for the hospital ship is that the stairs are here, not on this little bit that crops out, but on this bit here. So for this matter, I'm actually going to follow the example of Ocean Liner Designs. I'm going to put the stairs in here, as so, on the little part that crops out. Now for the most part in this build, I've actually followed the example of Titanic Honor and Glory, because they have a wonderfully rendered model of the ship with all its detail and lots of different flyovers and angles. In comparison, Ocean Liner Designs has an absolutely fantastic render of the side of the ship, as he does with all the other Olympic class liners and other ships as well. But it's a little bit difficult for me to see some of the details inboard. You know, it's really easy to see window arrangements and stuff on Ocean Liner Designs pictures, but for some things that are inside the ship, I have to just take creative license or something. So yeah, that looks pretty good. We're done there now. Let's put these cranes back. So finished with the structure now. I'm going to pose these cranes appropriately. The last item that needs our attention is the rigging, and also the funnels, the cables that hold the funnels in place. So about the funnel cables, I just decided to take them all off there. I'm done with them. The quality is really low. Some of them are a little bit too short, so they don't sit on there very well. And I had to glue some of them because they don't attach to the deck. So I'm just tired of it now. I've had problems with them since I first built the Titanic model. Put the rest of the ship together now for the first time. And then we're going to fix the rigging. And I think we're just about done. The bow section there. There we go. Our Britannic is together for the first time. Get that out there. I need to tension the rigging just a little. There we go. All that nice and taut. Fix those davits. So now she's all finished. Let's have a quick look over and see what we've changed. First of all, we changed these cargo hatches and we added these winches. Secondly, we added the stairs and the compass platform here on top of the bridge. The next thing was these davits and the lifeboats, and the motor room, and the emergency cutters, which are always just hanging out there. The windows on A deck and B deck, looks good. All this part's nice and clean now, nothing there to report. And then here, we've got our new davits on the back. Each one has 6 lifeboats each. We've got our little supports there under the davits. We've got our new window arrangement. We've got our motor room. And then around here at the back, we've got the modified superstructure there where I've cut it short, added new railings, completely rebuilt the second class entrance there. We've got this modified little structure here to make it longer. We've got our new stairs. And of course, we've got our extra window there that I added from my Olympic build. And then we've got the new B deck extension here, which looks great. And then finally, right up at the stern, we have our new docking bridge higher up. We've got our new davits, we've got our new lifeboats.